Welcome to Extra Throttle House. I'm Tommy.
And I'm James.
We filmed a lot of cars. A lot of cars. But we haven't filmed all of the cars.
So many cars left to film. And there are ones we film mostly new cars. But then sometimes we dig in and into the archives and we pull out a historic, iconic car.
Yes.
And there are still loads of them that are untouched by us. And here is a list. We wanted to make this a list of 10. However, we realized there are a lot more.
Also, here's what happened. This just turned into a list of cars we want to drive.
That's the same thing.
It is the same thing, but maybe it's not. Maybe sometimes there's consumer information that we have to cover.
No.
We want you guys to know what a car is like to drive, even though we're not maybe particularly interested in it. No, this is a list of cars that we want to film and drive very badly.
Counterpoint though, I would love to hear more about these things. Some of them.
Yeah.
Not the ones that cost $70 billion, but...
Speak of the devil, would you like to take us away?
Okay, the first car on this list is the Carrera GT.
Yes.
And if you are not initiated into the Porsche world, that isn't a normal 911 Carrera that is a GT3 or GT2. This is the special, very special car that Porsche made. We have driven...
Predecessor to the 918 Spider.
Which we've driven.
Yes.
And it blew our minds.
Yes.
The people I speak to have driven both don't even talk about the 918 because the Carrera GT exists, and that makes me very interested.
Can I admit something? Never really cared that much about the Carrera GT.
So this is my choice for the list. How is that possible? You have a mid-mounted, naturally aspirated V10 manual.
I know. It's got all the things that I should be very excited about, but I've never really been that, I don't know, I've never been that interested in this car. It always comes off to me as like an insane piece of unobtainium. I really want to know what it's like to drive because everybody raves about it so much.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it's not a halo car for me. If there's a couple pictures on my wall of the car, it's not one of them.
Interesting. I've heard the clutch is quite difficult to get on with.
Yeah. I can operate any clutch, I'll have you know.
Cut to Thomas stalling Carrera GT for the first time.
Yeah, that's right.
I think that, but I don't mind that because I think for me, it would be answering whether it is what I think it is, and for you, it will just blow your mind.
That was true about the 918 Spider.
Yes.
Of the three,
yes,
it was one I was least interested in, and I came away from that day going like, what have I been doing in my life? Not just sitting down going, I wonder what it's like to drive a 918 Spider. Maybe that's what this will be like.
So Carrera GT, and I know there are some deep-pocketed people out there who post things to YouTube who has one. So if you want to make it a reality...
Doug DeMuro.
No, we weren't going to say his name.
Oh. Okay, so this next one on the list is interesting because it has a very unique engine for a car of that size. This appeals because I'm so surprised by how much Indy credit's got, and yet... Yeah.
So it's the R32 Golf, and specifically I'm looking at the Mark IV. It's got those is it OZ wheels? Oz wheels?
I say OZ, yeah.
OZ?
Yeah.
It's a beautiful blue. I basically have the modern version of it now, but this is still cooler.
See, if you don't know, it has a VR6 engine, and a VR6 is interesting because instead of a V6, which is shaped like this, a VR6 almost looks like an inline six, except the pistons go here, 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 here. They're like slightly staggered, so it creates a unique sound. Is an interesting, characteristics, right? It's just one of those ones that I've always been interested to drive, but I don't know what to expect.
That's the thing. I'm worried because it's still Haldex based all drive, still the same formula you get in a Golf R now.
Yeah.
I worry that it would just be fine.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Like, I wonder, since it's a Volkswagen, I assume it's going to be like, yes, it is competent.
I'm more curious to drive it than I am excited to drive it.
Yeah, curious is the right word. Yeah.
For the very similar reasons, the pumped up, similar era brother of it is the B7 RS4.
Yeah.
And I've put that in here, and you see them around now. People have imported them. There are wagons that people have imported, which is unique. It is an 8,000 RPM, naturally aspirated V8.
You had me at 8,000 RPM.
420 horsepower. It's not massively fast. It's about the same speed as a current S5.
Yeah.
But it looks like Audi's rally. People love it. They glaze it. It's the best thing. Every time there's a comparison with all the generations, the B7 RS4 is the one everyone talks about. And I don't know how we haven't filmed that yet.
Yeah, it's definitely... What did we film? What generation did we film?
Of RS4?
Yeah.
We filmed, but never posted, the RS4 competition, the new one in England.
Right. Yes.
And
that's
it
true.
just felt like a wagon RS5.
Yeah.
But this is back when it was the V8.
And what was the generation that we drove?
We drove a B8 RS5.
That one had an insane sound.
Yes, and there's no reason this couldn't make the same sound.
Yeah.
And it's an all-wheel drive. It'll be a winter monster. I genuinely looked into these before I bought my Golf R because I thought it would be more eclectic, and it is. Except I got scared as an owner.
Yeah, I mean, Audis are complicated all the way through their history.
But
right?
I got the same worry about this that I do the R32, which is that reviews are overblown. And you get in, you go, it's an Audi.
Yeah, no, it's an Audi. I think the problem is and the reason why I am very curious to drive this, I would like to film it, especially because of the engine, but I've never been like super excited about it because fundamentally it's still an Audi. I think they did some stuff with this generation.
I know, but every review
they like
is just
lightened the hood and the fenders.
But the reviews love it. They love it.
I know, but it probably is still going to drive like an Audi. That engine is still really far forward for the all-wheel drive system, right?
And this is before they had the tricky diff.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it has a torque sensing diff.
See, our curiosity is what means we want to film it.
I gotta know.
I'm just so curious.
I gotta
to
peel
drive
back
it.
that curtain.
Yeah.
Okay, on the more exciting side of things. Now, it's not... I saw a comment once that says resto mods are for journalists and the ultra wealthy, and that is true.
That is true. Yeah, exactly.
But damn, are they so interesting and so fun. And so I think we can work through this quickly.
Yeah, so if you're from North America, you probably don't know much about the Ford Escort, but the Europeans know these cars very well, and they're extremely cool. The Mark I and the Mark II Escort are like famed cars.
Yes.
Right? The Mark I looks fantastic. The Mark II also looks cool, but is obviously a little bit more modern. I just happened to recently drove a Mark II Escort rally car, and it blew my mind. And it made us think these resto mods, versions of them, are probably incredible.
Yes.
Is Bora Motorworks?
So Bora Motorworks is the one that's about to come out. That is considered a continue mod because it's licensed officially by Ford.
Right.
They're super exclusive. They're making 150 only. They start around 375,000 US. There are a couple of different engine options, I think.
This is so much
and that's
money.
The base one. It looks incredible.
Yeah.
Like incredible. Look at that. Look at the interior.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's got mini CarPlay.
Mini CarPlay is the best CarPlay.
It looks like aluminium brushed gauge dials.
It looks like copper almost, or bronze.
That's the light. That's the orange light. Yeah.
Okay.
It's perfect mix of vintage and modern. And first of all, shout out to Homemade Resto Mods. When we were filming the Tut Hill 911K in the Alphaholics on that road in Wales, we ran into a fella who had resto modded his own Escort for like £30,000.
Made a really good sound.
And it looked amazing.
Yeah.
But these are ones that obviously you can buy off the shelf. And then MST is the one that's been around for a few years now, or a while. I don't actually know.
Am I right in saying that Alcantara has not even come close to going out of style?
No, it works. But there's a whole anti-Alcantara movement.
No, you're wrong. I'm sorry. That looks amazing. I love it when there's way too much Alcantara in an interior because it makes it feel expensive and you can't have chocolate bars in there. And it just seems like such a cool place to sit.
Unlimited money. This is one of the Borum is one of the very few cars I would have bought without ever test driving.
Ooh, that's quite a
by looking
claim.
at it, yeah.
Holy crap.
And then just destroy your Alpha. Just wherever we go, I'll just turn up in the Borum.
Shut up. How much horsepower?
It depends what engine you get. But,
okay.
Yeah, because the 296 horsepower, I believe, is the base. But
okay, well, mine currently has 170.
Yeah, but this is made of like
less,
and it's lighter.
Shut up.
On the more ridiculous end.
Yeah.
I also want to throw in that Scion P1800. We didn't write it down here, but
it does look very good.
I
just want to drive a Volvo P1800.
Yeah, but then the Scion would feel the whole point of the Resto mod is it drives the way you want that vintage car to drive.
That is exactly what a resto mod is. It's like
Yes.
when you have this picture of this car in your head, this like halo that you've always
Exactly.
like. And then
Like
you
I
get
have it with Wagamamas. When I grew up eating Wagamamas, which is a Japanese street food chain in England, that katsu curry was so good.
Yeah.
And now I go home and I have it. It's so bland.
Yeah, exactly.
So I need a resto mod Wagamamas, which I've
Yeah.
actually found. It's near me. It's called Kenzo Ramen. It's brilliant. Okay, on the more ridiculous end, and we've talked about this car before, is the Tut Hill GT1.
So last year we drove the Alphaholics and compared it against the Tut Hill 911K. The 911K was arguably the more memorable of the two. The 911K revved to 11,000 RPM, and it was the most insane thing I've ever driven. And then they took that engine, and they're putting it in probably the coolest looking body on a new car available.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 22 only they're making, it probably will be millions.
There's an option for a turbo engine, but that's an error, isn't it?
It depends. Like
If you get 911K, you 911K.
Yeah,
Right?
Probably I would not. Yeah, the 911K, and that's the thing is, it's not just the 11K RPM, it's the power. It was so fast.
And it's not just the power, it's the torque.
Yeah, because
Like-
it's light, it weighs nothing.
Yeah, but like the engine was so incredible all the way through. Anyway,
And this is an all carbon fiber body, carbon ceramic brakes. Listen, we didn't crash the 911K. We probably have a chance of Tut Hill offering us this car to drive.
yeah,
If and when, I can't wait.
I would absolutely love to drive it. I would be scared to drive it though, because it's expensive.
Yeah, they're going to make 22 though.
That's
You kill it, there's 21, it's even more rare.
Yeah, exactly.
On the more modern end, and we put this in here because I want to generate a bit of discussion. The M2 CS, could it be the redemption story that we want it to be?
Listen, I don't know if it's fair to say redemption story because the M2 in the right transmission, which is the automatic, I'll get to that in a second,
With the carbon fiber packs and stuff.
on a track in a big fat third gear slide is still excellent. It
Yes,
is a very good car.
but on the road, it's a bit insulated. It's a bit.
It doesn't have the M buzz.
You don't feel the speed.
It doesn't have that whoo
Yeah,
thing.
and I feel like the CS gave the M3 and the M4 recently a bit more of that M buzz.
It did, yeah.
So could
yeah.
it do that for the new M2?
Anyway, back to the transmission because you all deserve an explanation. I will
Thomas
die.
hates manual transmissions. All manual transmissions.
No, I don't. I hate the manual transmission in the new M2 because it felt like they didn't care about it.
Yeah.
The gearing is wrong. I don't care what anybody says. Drive the automatic and then drive the manual, and you tell me that you didn't have more fun on the road in the automatic, right?
Yeah, but it's still the ZF. Whereas,
It's still boring.
Now-
There's no correct transmission
like,
for
why
the
is
new
Audi?
M2.
Why is Audi the one putting dual clutches now in S5s?
I don't know.
And anyway, so what could BMW do with an M2 CS? We're curious. The cat
Here-
shall be killed.
Here's what I want. I want it to be a manual. Put shorter gearing in it, or a quicker final drive ratio or something,
Yeah.
and then sharpen up the shift linkage and make it even more.
Imagine that with
sneaky.
like the Dark Horse manual.
Yeah, oh my God.
That
yeah,
Tremec.
Yeah, that, and then obviously do all the regular stuff. Lighten the crap out of it, carbon fiber everywhere. Give it, more sophisticated suspension, not necessarily stiffer because that's not the move. An even more aggressive differential, maybe a quicker steering ratio. I think that would make the M2.
Thomas has designed the M2 CS.
Yeah, also, completely and utterly redesign the exterior in every single way.
That won't happen.
Next car.
All right. So again, a lot of these are expensive, but this isn't. This is because they're hard to.
Right. So this next one is a more affordable car.
The Aston Martin Valhalla.
Yeah.
Now I have to admit, I haven't had much curiosity about the Valkyrie. It's too race car.
It's too much. It's just too insane.
Whereas the Valhalla
right?
is like, hang on, Aston are going to do a mid-engined, 1,064 horsepower
Yeah.
hybrid supercar. It looks like, I think of it as the ultimate version of the Roma in my mind. It's the thing that
compared to the Valkyrie, it's like an attainable supercar, and that's a dumb question or dumb statement, and I know it's dumb. And
it's still
it
a
sounded
million
dumb when I
bucks.
said
It's
it
$1
right
million
there.
bucks.
It's $1 million bucks.
They're making 999.
But
But what would Aston do with that? Because their interior game is so good at the moment.
you might see those. That's what makes them cool.
Are you disappointed it's not a V12?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
It's sort of just that AMG treatment V8 and
Yeah. But I think that the coolest part about this car is that you might actually see them on the road.
Yes.
Like there will probably be, like pick a major city, there'll be one of them there.
Well,
right?
that's double the amount of LFAs, right?
Oh, right.
And we've
yeah.
run into LFAs
Yeah.
every now and then.
But you know what I mean? Seeing an LFA is extremely exciting.
It's extremely exciting.
Like you see an LFA in the wild and you're like, whoa, and you tell
So
everyone in the car.
I think
they
the
don't care.
Valhalla will elicit the same reaction.
Yeah, I think so.
I just have to know because I think there's a bit of Russian doll, with the Vantage, the DB12, and the Vanquish this time around more than ever.
Yeah. They're all brilliant, but they're like an AC/DC song.
Yeah, so this represents something
It's the
completely...
same song, yeah.
But does that mean that if you sometimes when bands do try something new, it gets a bit experimental?
Good point. Good point.
Maybe it will... That's why I've got to know.
Yeah.
Okay, finally something more attainable.
Yes, back to reality. The Ferrari F40. I really, really want to drive/film this car because, first of all, it might be one of the coolest supercars ever made.
Yeah.
Like, cool being an intangible thing. I think that the F40 is one of the coolest supercars ever made.
Also, it freezes in time. That's Ferrari to me. That car is so Ferrari.
It really is.
It couldn't be any other car.
Absolutely, yeah.
I agree. That's cool. That's
Also, after seeing Chris Harris drift one, if he did the F40 and F50 way back in the day.
Yeah, that was a cool video. I think that was one owner.
It was a really cool film, yeah. And that made me go, I really want to drive one of those. Okay, finally. This is a much more attainable car.
The Daytona SP3.
Yeah.
I threw this in here because
They made so many of them, too.
Because Thomas said the F40, this is the latest... because the F80 has come out and it's like, it's a 6-cylinder.
Yeah.
The SP3 is that sort of, it could have been Holy Trinity this gen.
But no one talks about it or thinks about it.
I think on purpose. I think Ferrari have been quite quiet about it because it's so fucking epic. It's so epic. Naturally aspirated V12.
Why would they be quiet about it? No, I think they're being quiet about it because they don't want to take away from the F80.
That's what I mean.
Oh, that I see. Yeah.
Yeah. The reason you haven't heard, the reason you're not seeing it everywhere is because the F80 is the new F.
Yeah.
And Lewis Hamilton wants to make his own new version of an F40, which
Yes.
proves to me that he doesn't see the F80 as the true successor, which is a bit,
I think the best part about this car, other than the fact that it has a naturally aspirated V12 and it's probably incredible to drive, is the rear end of it. Those like strakes that come around and like the kind of, it's got like a real 60s, obviously, vibe to the back end of it.
it flows in the right ways. It doesn't look dissimilar to the F80. It just looks like the F80 that everyone wants. Everyone's like, oh, it's a 6, and it doesn't. Here you go, SP3, natural aspirated V12.
And no one talks about this car weirdly, like.
I mean, it is completely unattainable, and
Obviously
I've seen a video of someone in like Monaco trying to buy one from an owner.
What?
And he's like 4 million, and the guy's like, no. 4.5 million, no. He won't take any amount of money for it.
Oh my god.
Because and they are going to be worth a fortune.
Yes.
So it is a completely untouchable thing, but we'd love to film it.
We'd love to film it. Yeah.
Okay, there you
Just
go.
to show you.
No,
what
you
it's
got
like.
an easy one.
Okay, this is, again, finally, this is a car that you'll all be able to buy. I would really, really, really like to drive and film the Lamborghini Sesto Elemento. This is like a unicorn Lamborghini to me. I've never seen one in real life. I've seen 1 or 2 videos of it. I think Richard Hammond drove it, right, on Top Gear.
It does look good.
It's
You can see Huracan in it, even though it's like the finale of the Gallardo.
Yeah. It's got nothing inside.
Wow.
Like carbon tub, and then the pads are like glued to the tub, right? The columns and the pedals move.
So it's a
And
full race car.
It's basically a race car. It's got like plexiglass. It weighs nothing, right? It's probably so great to drive. And I just think it looks phenomenal. I love the little like bloody spikes on the hood, right?
It looks born from hell.
It really is a badass car.
And the name,
the Sesto Elemento.
It means
right?
6 element.
6 element, yeah, which is carbon.
What are the 5 elements?
What are the 5 elements?
Why is it
Earth,
the
wind,
sixth?
water,
Oh, the 6th
fire?
element in the periodic table. I see.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
I was reading it as like
Yeah.
6th sense. Like there's another
What
one.
is it? It's like hydrogen.
It's hydrogen.
Hydrogen.
There's this whole song about it.
Oh, is there a song?
All I know is that vanadium. Wait, which is the silver that was on the Porsches? Vanadium grey.
Yeah.
That's also one of the elements.
James,
right.
James is going to spend the next 5 minutes just naming elements that he knows. Anyway,
23rd element.
It's a grey, hard, and ductile transition metal with atomic number 23.
And it colours the Spider RS and the 911 Carrera recently filmed.
Right.
Actually attainable. I'm coming in here with a Honda S660.
Oh my God, it actually was.
Yes. This is a K car. It is the successor, in a way, to the Honda Beat. It's newer, so you haven't been able to import it to even Canada yet, because in Ontario we have a 15-year rule, not 25.
Yeah.
And it's still too new for that. However, I see some when I go to England. I saw a few when I was in Japan.
Yeah.
I absolutely love tiny roadsters.
Very cool.
It's a Targa. You can get it in manual. Yeah, it's got 64 horsepower.
Yeah, you can get it at the CVT if you're weird.
Yeah, don't. It's cool.
It is very cool.
It's a manual, tiny Honda K car, and it's just absolutely lovable. And I gotta know.
I would love to drive it. Honestly, I really, really would.
The interior looks a bit economy car.
It looks like just a much more compact Civic from a last generation.
Yeah, but look at it.
Yeah, it's fun. It really is fun. I absolutely would love to drive that. I think it would be
Arguably
great.
overstyled on the side.
I think you're right. In the front too. It's got like the wrong parts of the Accord styling, previous gen Accord styling.
Very curious to try that.
Definitely curious to drive it. Yes.
I wish it was naturally aspirated in a way, because the turbocharged thing doesn't excite me as much.
Yeah.
Like that's where the AutoZam and stuff.
All right, continuing on the trend now of cars that are much more affordable and everyday. The McLaren F1. Really, really, really would love to drive and film that.
It's a unicorn car. For
now that we're dreaming, we might as well, right?
Might as well.
Might as well. So
there's only 106 ever made.
I had a super weird dream the other day that I got a chance to drive one of those, and no one else was allowed to drive it, but I was allowed to drive it.
Right.
For some reason, and I was driving it, and there were people beside me, don't know who they were, but I remember the clutch being super weird. The steering was brilliant in my dream, and Jerry Seinfeld was there, sitting up getting his shoes polished as I drove by, and he went, "Oh, I can't believe they let you drive that," and that was my dream.
What is the deal?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The center seat. Yeah. The center seat is everything.
She's so good.
And that, the Speedtail has that, so I'm really curious about the Speedtail. And the GMAs, obviously. I gotta know about that GMA at some point. But yeah, the McLaren F1.
I don't even think we need to really elaborate on why we want to drive it. It's the supercar. Period. Right?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Slightly more attainable.
Yes, but not that attainable.
No, you can. This is the V12 Vantage from the same generation of the older Vantage we recently tested.
Yeah. Because that Vantage, I still want one of those. I think they're absolutely brilliant. But this would be the ultimate.
You've got my dad looking at them, by the way. My dad, who drives a Mini Cooper JCW, is like, what about a Vantage? Because they're about the same. He could trade it in for the same money.
Do it, Pops. You know you want to. The V12 Vantage will be the ultimate experience of that. And if there's some clips on the internet of people straight piping these, my God, do they sound good.
Amazing. They sound amazing. I like the extra vents on the hood that say it's a V12,
There's an S, isn't there?
There is an S that gets vents. There's a V8S, I think. There's a V12S.
There's a V12 Vantage S for sure.
Yes.
Which obviously I think are a little bit more insane. But I mean, that's definitely... There's a lot of room in the base Vantage to stiffen the suspension and make it more, lighten it, make it more race car-y. So I'd be curious to drive what the ultimate version of that chassis is, because it is obviously fundamentally a very well-designed car. Transmission's in the right place, engine's really low, engine's mounted back. So the perfect version of that would be absolutely excellent.
I think that I think even though they're quite expensive, they are falling under the same thing that the V8 is, which is undervalued. And therefore, you can nick them.
Yeah, ish. They're still really expensive, but yeah.
I've gone a bit weird. Obviously, when we're looking at these cars, highly special, highly expensive cars feature, but so do geography limited cars.
Yeah, there's just cars we can't get here, and so...
And it's about time we got a Ute on the channel, all right? This is... I'm looking specifically at the Holden SSV, which is a 6-litre V8. It is stunning.
I'd be game to drive any of these. It's just... Look at that thing. Look at it.
It's all you ever need. It's manual. It can be had in manual. It can be had in automatic as well. It's just there's something so Australian about it.
Obviously, it's GM, by the way.
Yeah, and the interior is not great. Okay.
No, it's not. We just want to talk about that. You just drive it and go, oh, V8 noises. It's got a 6-liter V8, right? So it's gonna.
And you can start to import them soon, surely.
I think so. Yeah.
So I think that is quite a cool thing. I don't know much about them beyond just the top line stuff.
And that's why we want to review it.
We want to
experience it.
Also, geography limited.
Yeah. So this is a car that everybody in Europe, the UK, obviously specifically, talks about this car constantly and is obsessed with it. It's the Peugeot 205 GTI.
When you say Peugeot, I can't deal with it.
What do you say?
Peugeot.
No, you're adding an R.
No, I know, and it's probably incorrect. There's 70 million people who would...
P-E-U-R-G.
70 million people would fight my corner right now.
Peugeot.
And we'd all be...
Peugeot.
Peugeot, though.
Peugeot.
You're literally putting the word poo in the word.
It's Peugeot, if you actually want to say it. So I think that this is a car that would be probably really, really fun. It's just really small and really light, and it was rallied. So, I mean, Chris Harris has like 13 of them, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he's like a garage of them.
Like missile silos. He's got them hidden around the UK in different warehouses.
Just in case he needs one.
I agree, it's stunning.
Yeah.
But what if it schnitzes? What if it's just like... Because the Mark 1 Golf GTI was great,
Yeah.
but it felt like a Golf.
Yeah.
I would hope this is more fun.
This would probably be a little bit more on the edge, right? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like rev happy, peppier.
Well, I don't even know. This is what we want to drive it. I'm super curious, honestly, to have a go on one of these.
And there are resto mods of these as well. There's the Tolman.
Is it $1 million?
No, I think it's
150,000.
£125,000.
What a steal! Is it incredible on the interior? That's the question.
It's nice.
It's not bad.
I wonder if the charm of this particular car is from a cheap
Just
one.
a really cheap, clean one.
And also, there's probably a story. I want to know that the person that had it took it to the something every day. You know.
Yeah.
You fill in the
They
story.
took it to the something every day,
and that is all it needs.
That's why he wants to drive it. Yeah.
Okay. If there's a World War III, are we going to be calling these pre-war cars? Shower thought. Okay. Another one in the same vein, the Renault 5 Turbo. Is it mid-engine or rear engine?
I think it's mid-engined rear-wheel drive.
Renault. I swear it is on the axle, isn't it?
Where is the engine? Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Rear mid-engine. We were both right. That's a cool.
That's why we couldn't
car.
remember, because it's in a weird spot.
They cost a fortune now, but Jason Camisa did a fantastic video on Revelations about it, and I think, in my mind, when this is always talked about with the Delta Integrale, and I think it's cooler than the Delta Integrale.
I'm not sure about that, because the Delta Integrale is extremely cool.
No, I think this is cooler.
But this is an extremely cool car. I will give you that.
The seats are amazing. The new Renault 5 has seats inspired by this.
I think my favorite part about it is that it is so compromised as a hatchback.
Yeah.
Because all the luggage space is taken up by an engine.
This isn't a video of what we want to buy. I just got to film it. I want to drive it.
I just want to drive it. Yeah.
You know, it was built for Group B homologation. It is absolutely incredibly special.
That tells me that, like, in order to really experience that car, you need to be on, like, a rally stage.
Okay.
Does anybody have one that they'll let us drive on a rally stage?
All right, moving on. So those are the hatchbacks.
Yeah.
Let's get a bit more engine-y here.
So we have driven the Mercedes SLS, and it was absolutely fantastic.
Surprisingly good.
Surprising is the best word. Like, I just expected it to kind of be a big GT cruiser, and it wasn't. It was a sports car. It was a full-on sports car, and as a result, what the heck is the Black Series like?
Gotta know.
I gotta know. And it comes in fun colors, and it's going to be crazier and stiffer, and it would be
8,000 RPM. It's lighter. It's mounted. The transmission's mounted lower than normal.
Yeah. In the same vein, I want to drive the CLK Black Series as well.
We have never driven a Black Series of any kind.
No, I know. I feel like that's a weird hole in our knowledge of...
That must change.
It must change. We must film one. We must drive one. Do you have a CLK Black Series or an SLS Black Series, please let us drive it.
Moving on, there is a particularly naughty man on YouTube and Instagram called Das Cayman.
Das Cayman.
He has...
Oh my God.
Well, he doesn't actually drive... It's not the Cayman videos I've seen. He has a 987 Boxster Spider, which he claims is all the car you'd ever need, and he drives it like he can respawn.
Yes.
However...
Drives like he has multiple lives.
As much of a bad influence as he is...
It sounds so good.
He made that car look real good.
Yeah. He sent me you sent me that reel way back, and you're just like, what on earth is this? It is an incredible sounding car, and they're not that much money.
The good ones are still fetching $100,000 still. I don't understand.
But like,
which is annoying. But yeah, it's
but the experience that I was seeing him have felt like more than $100,000 experience.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, but it does put it that Spider RS we drove recently. I think in Canada it easily hits like $300,000. So it is a significant discount, and they keep their value. That's the difference. The Spiders
always do.
They don't really drop.
They always do.
All right, the final one here. I've decided to calm down significantly.
Yes, we brought this back to reality.
I still think
the reality of a different country because we can't get this car.
Yeah, I still think about Isettas every day.
He's going to buy an Isetta. You are obsessed with Isettas. All you talk about is Isettas.
There's a little bit of a story there.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're thinking, well, so get one. This is a car you've already filmed. There is something called a Microlino.
Yeah.
And it is a slow Isetta, modern reinterpretation of an Isetta, and it's electric. And I know electric doesn't sound that fun. Some of the most fun I've ever had was driving a Renault Twizy with my wife.
Oh, yeah.
And so I know the Microlino can achieve the same thing. And the door also opens out the front, and they're cheap. It would be so much cheaper for me to buy a brand new Microlino than it would be to buy a 70-year-old Isetta that would work way worse.
Yes, it would be
and they're like
a quarter of the speed as well, yeah.
I'm so enamored by them.
They look extremely cool and so faithful to an Isetta.
Yeah.
Styling-wise.
Jack Scarlett, who helped me film the aerial after the catering video, he messaged me from the launch of it when he was driving it saying, yeah, it's just as good as you think it is.
Yeah. And I love that the door freaking opens to the front. I'm sorry. Like the fact that they kept that from the Isetta is so brilliant.
I would get this if it was sold locally, and then that would be how I realize my Isetta dreams, because I know that owning an Isetta is going to be a bit of a pain in the arse.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Especially when you need to merge into traffic, shoot into a roundabout, turn left at a light, go into a parking lot, go through a drive-through. Anything.
This is one of those cars that makes me want to buy a small place in Spain and then tell my wife that it's because of the location and not just because I want somewhere to rip to the beach in a Microlino.
I love the seafoam.
There's a scooter.
The seafoam color it comes in is really nice too. That like
seafoam, yeah.
It reminds me of a 60s Fender Stratocaster.
Yes. Hogwarts spells aside, I do think
it's a famous guitar.
Incredibly charming car.
Yeah.
And I would love to film one, and I'm going to try and do that at some point.
Yeah. That is our list of cars that we want to film / drive. That's like weighted towards drive, then film.
We'll think of 20 more, but when we go home today.
Yeah, we will. Yeah. This list is very big, by the way. This was the ones we could think of off the top of our head right now.
Yeah, by the way, if you somehow are someone who has access or the ability to let us film these, please let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know we could do them justice.
Anyway, thank you for watching. There will be more couch chats in the future. We just have no idea when.
Yeah. Also, thank you for your patience, because I know this summer the content's been a bit more spread out. Mm-hmm. We are working on some very cool projects in the background.
Yeah. And
Thomas's child is currently ripping his sleep away from his life. So it is going to be a bit more sporadic.
Yeah.
However, we want to keep. It's going to be good stuff still.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is.
Deal with it.
It's just like that.
What is?
It's just the way it is.
Let's end now. Let's quickly.